Hello, my audience. I'm reviewing Iron Man 3, 2013 movie. My newcomers, my name's Jake Allen Graham. Welcome to my YouTube channel review on Iron Man 3. I give it 7 points out of 10. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it could have been a lot better. In a nutshell. Now I'm going to go to spoiler territory. So, spoiler review my video contains. So, in case you hadn't seen this movie, the movie lies and manipulates you into thinking that's going to be a cool ass villain from the comics, but instead it's just some businessman called Gideon, who's the main threat of the movie instead of the Mandarin character that actually is a villain in Marvel Comics. Gideon's this original, generic, uninspired character for the movie, not from a comic character, from I know of. Gideon's the main character in this movie. His plot is to perfect them some full form that makes people superheroes, powers and stuff, without trying to make them perfect the form without getting them blow up. With lack of refills or just running out of time for whatever because it's unstable, the flying Leo that gives them powers, blah blah blah. It's just one of those MacGuffins, and then Tony finds it out through video footage and figures it out, puts two and two together why they're not stable. It's not the phone is not stable, blah blah blah. So that's why he needs Tony, and that's why he needs this other smart girl that used to fuck and have one night stand with Tony and flirt with Tony in the opening film before time jump. He's married to Pepper. He's like in a relationship with Pepper Potts, committed relationship, and he could do so much better than Pepper. Pepper's a total fucking cunt who makes him who encourages him to blow up all of his suits because she's a selfish, hollow character that cares nobody but herself and wants the world to just die. Everyone on planet Earth, as long as Tony retires as Iron Man. And that's where this movie ends on. Tony retiring, then Kamala retiring for Age of Ultron after this. And so on and so on. The plot of this movie really doesn't blow. More than Iron Man 2's plot, where it made Tony kind of an unlikable bastard. But likely he was the butt of a joke by Pepper Potts and Happy Hogan and everyone that called him idiot in the film. So he was taken down to bed to be more likable. Here, he's just a dumbass all the time and a parody version of himself by now. In Iron Man 3, once we get to. He's just playing Robert Downey. Not Tony Stark anymore. I'm convinced on that. He's improvising his acting skills. Because he knows what piece of shit he's in. That's totally out of their asses. And making it up as they go along with the script. Seeing what works, what doesn't. I see right through the bullshit of this movie. That's why I give Iron Man 3 7 points out of 10. Now I'm going to talk about Iron Man 1. So it's trying to be an origin story, also doing a solid blockbuster, while also setting up a universe for launching and succeed. And pretty good, that's still going to this day. It could have been a lot better, just seeing how well of a reputation it gets. This movie has a very positive reputation by audience, but I think it could have been better. I don't hate the first time movie, I just don't love it as much as I wanted to. So I give it 7 points out of 10. Now I'm reviewing Iron Man 2. Sadly, this is my favorite out of the bunch. I give it a 8 points out of 10. Because saying I actually gave it, I said an 8 out of 10 I went to is, I don't want to give it an 8 out of 10 because I actually, I was surprised by this. I didn't actually at all hate this movie at all. I was surprisingly engaged and I found it exciting a movie, Iron Man 2. So I guess I give it a two, not an 8 out of 10, but a 10 out of 10. I give Iron Man 2 is the only Iron Man movie I say is worth seeing more than once. I give it a 10 out of 10. Sure, Robert Downey's unlikable and a total idiot as Iron Man, but he's meant to be taken dead up head by everyone hating him and putting him into a butt of a joke. Even Black Widow, who's just there to be a eye candy and kick and make a fool of Tony Stark by insulting him. And she's entertained, played by Scarlett Johansson. I give this a 10 out of 10 because it has Scarlett Johansson's big screen appearance that turned her into a movie star. Everyone's favorite eye candy pussy. Black Widow. That's why I give Iron Man 2, the best out of the bunch, a 10 points out of 10. It's a decent prequel for the first Avengers movie setting up. I like this movie as 10 points out of 10. Now I'm going to review Captain America, the first Avengers, and the Incredible Hulk and Thor in this video also. First, I want to talk about the Incredible Hulk. I like Edward Norton's take on Hulk. I like his reimagining, the redesign on Hulk. Not as good as 2003's Hulk movie, but what can you do? Because I think this is supposed to be about a cinematic universe built on each other. So, I give Incredible Hulk a 10 points out of 10. I enjoyed it, was pleasantly surprised by it. I'm thinking this is an underrated film. It should have gotten more positive feedback from fans and more support when it came out. I'm sad it didn't. But we probably would have gotten a sequel with Edward instead of getting recast by Mark Ruffalo playing Hulk. If it was well received by more fans like Iron Man was. The first one. I'm sad it didn't because I personally think this was a better movie than Iron Man 1. Structure-wise and pacing-wise and editing-wise and visual-wise with the CGI and the practical effects mixing together and negative to the visualized more appealing to me than Iron Man 1. I like the color grading choices in this movie more than Iron Man 1's color grading choices. So, that's why I give this movie a 10 points out of 10. Now I'm going to talk about the first Avengers movie. I like the Red Skull character design brought to life on the makeup was played by Hugo Weaving in Red Skull. Hugo Weaving was this was definitely one of his best performances of his career next to V for Vendetta and Agent Smith from The Matrix. This is definitely one of his best performances of his career. I'm sad he never played him again because he was so good as the Red Skull. When he was wearing the mask, wearing the prosthesis and not wearing the prosthesis, he was so good at the Red Skull. This character, I believe him was so evil, good at evil bastard. Being playing, So, Captain America is good and all, like Chris Evans, but he doesn't have anything on Hugo Weaving's acting chops with the Red Skull, how he gets into character. I think he's a better, more believable character than, Captain America when he gets into character of the Red Skull versus Captain America getting into character playing Captain America played by Chris Evans. I like how the Red Skull has a more comic book looking portrayal than Chris Evans' Captain America costume, and I like it a lot. And I wish Captain America has the coolest comic book accurate portrayal costume as the Red Skull did. But he doesn't. He has a more realistic look. And it's kind of a shame the movie kind of puts him into the. It's kind of a shame that this movie kind of. Well, thanks to Infinity War, we knew the movie didn't kill him off. We knew that one of the Infinity Stones, that's a Tesseract he had holding in his hand, just teleport him to Voimir to guard the Soul Stone and never leave, and put him in exile, basically, as a villain. So, make him like a Grim Reaper type figure instead, guarding the Soul Stone, and we'll pass on the wisdom what to do to get the Soul Stone and shit. I admit that was pretty stupid, instead of just killing him off. Worse than what I originally thought would happen to him. So, I guess I give Captain America the First Avengers a 10, the first Avenger movie, Captain America, a 10 points out of 10. It is kind of strange how Hawkeye made appearance in the Thor movie, his debut, but Black Widow and Hawkeye never got their own standalone movies before the Avengers. We got two standalone Iron Man movies. That and Iron Man 2's actual accent as a Black Widow Iron Man movie. And it's weird that they didn't try to take the same route with Thor because Hawkeye's in Thor. And instead they just focused on Thor. I feel like that was a missed opportunity to not make it a bicon between Hawkeye and Thor. And developing both, sending both become Avengers. So, I'm reviewing Thor now. Where will I put Thor on the scale? You know, thanks to the movie like Ragnarok and Love and Thunder Thor movies, I'm able to see the original two Thor movies in a much more positive light. So I want to give Thor 1 a 10 points out of 10. So I give Thor a 10 out of 10 points. Now I'm going to talk about the first Marvel's Avengers movie, the finale to Phase 1. I give that a 10 out of 10 because thanks to the later installments, I realized how much worse it could get. I see much more positive, fondly light looking back on the first one. And that's why I want to give it 10 points out of 10. Score, final verdict. So what, we lost the best adaptation of the Avengers from the comics of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and we got this movie, Monstrosity and Return of Team of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, who barely worked together in the movie, and not until the last 15 minutes. They stopped working together in the last 15 minutes of the movie when it's about to wrap up for the finale, after the finale is over. At least we got something that's better than nothing, which is what the sequels felt like. Age of Ultron and Infinity War, which was to be Infinity War and Endgame and Age of Ultron. Okay, maybe Age of Ultron is more of mediocre than suck, but the last two are suck. So, that's my review on Avengers 1. Well, I give it 10 points out of 10. Hope you liked this review video. Bye. Subscribe. Like this video. I give Avengers 10 out of 10. Marvel's Avengers points. I give 10 points out of 10. That's my final verdict. Bye.